Hey guys, I'm Brownell. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my Apollycon 2022 book haul, and I did get a ton of books. I ended up leaving with 59 books. I did come with about 28. I brought my own copies with me, and the rest I ended up buying there. So I did come with a great haul. It was very, very nice meeting all these authors. Some of these books I've read before, some are new to me, so I'm really excited to have a great couple months of good reading with all these new books. So I'm gonna show you pretty much all the books I got, some goodies that I'm gonna mention, and then some freebies that we also got. So if you guys don't know, Apollycon is a book convention. Apollycon specifically is a book convention that is technically hosted by Jennifer L. Armentrout. If you guys don't know her, she is primarily a fantasy romance author, but she does write other types of genres. As you can see behind me, this shelf right here is like my JLA shelf, and she kind of went down on this shelf too. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of show you all the books that I was able to get at the convention. But first I want to show you some extra swag. So back here, you can't see this one, but I ended up seeing I think it's Art by Stephanie with two F's instead of a PH, and she had a Roth and Bambi art print that I thought was beautiful, so I had to go pick it up. I ended up getting my mom a Reaver art print. He's the dragon in her From Blood and Ash series from the Bookish box. If you guys can see right here, that is a Poppy and Castile art print, which I thought was gorgeous, so I ended up picking that one up. And then this flower right here is from Blooming Books. So they use pages of books and they basically fold them in the shape of a flower. So it's in the shape of a poppy because it's from Blood and Ash. And then the stand that the flower's on is a dagger, and it's like a blood spatter. So I really liked it because it combined my two interests, which is forensic science and of course From Blood and Ash and JLA. So now onto the books, which I know is what you guys are looking for. My first set of books that I got, so okay, before I get to books, my mom and my sister ended up coming with me, so it was a girls trip. So my sister did get her own set of books. I think she came away with maybe like 25 or 30 books, which is still a good decent amount. And then my mom did meet some of these authors for me, but she did say they were very, very nice. So one author that I met was Tessa Dare. I ended up getting Just When the Scot Ties the Knot signed by her. She gave me a little sticker that says signed by the author, which was cute. And then she signed it. I have the original version, which has the step back. I don't know if they make these anymore, but she is primarily a historical romance author, and she ended up giving me a bookmark with all her books, which is super nice of her. I have only read this book, and obviously it's a Scottish Highland historical romance. I haven't read any other books by her, so I'm planning to get through those soon. My mom met Rebecca Zanetti, so I got my Montana Mavericks collection signed by her. And she gave a signature. My mom said she was super nice, and if you can't tell, these are cowboy romances set in modern times. There are 4 books in the series, but they only bound up books 1 through 3. I have not read book 4 yet. Then my mom also met Avery Flynn by me. This one's Parental Guidance. This is a sports romance. She also said Avery Flynn was super, super nice. I've only read this one by her. I haven't read any other books she's written, so my plan is to dive into a couple of other books. And then I met Amy Knight. So Amy Knight is, I believe, a small town romance author and a sports romance and a couple other books. I got the first book in her sports romance series, The Red Zone. She signed it to me. This is beautiful. I love the cover. She only has 3 out in this series, but I figured I'd just pick up the first one, see if I like it. But it's a sports romance, football, very excited. It's a little bit taboo. I think he is dating his daughter. He ends up dating his daughter's teacher. But yeah, I'm excited to read Amy Knight, new to me author, see if I like her books and go from there. And then I met the queen, Rebecca Yarros. If you guys don't know, I've been talking about her for the past couple months on my channel. I'm obsessed with her books. She primarily writes military romances, but she does have I think it's like a BMX type romance or like the X Games romance. I've read those as well. And then she has a firefighting romance that I haven't read those, but I'm planning to read those next. So my mom met her with me, loved her, and I think it was really nice talking to her because she was saying that a lot of her books are inspired by personal events that she went through. So it was nice to kind of know that and kind of connect certain characters with people that well, obviously either her husband or her kids or stuff like that. So I got the last letter signed and she was absolutely amazing. This book made me cry, so if you want something that's going to make you sob, definitely check this one out. And then I got my 3 favorites of her, I don't even know, Flight and Glory series signed. So we have the first book, which is Full Measures, the 3rd book of the series, which is Beyond What Is Given, and then the 4th book, Hallowed Ground. So these 2 books follow Josh and Ember, so it's the same character. And then this book follows Grayson and Samantha. So yeah, I have these. But no, she was very nice. She personalized pretty much all my books, and yeah, it was fun to meet her. Then I ended up meeting Cora Riley, and she had copies of her original like indie published books. So I got the first book in the series, which is Bound by Honor. She was telling me she only sells her indie copies at the convention. And I just got the first one because I think I've read her, not 100% sure. But just to see how I like it, and then if I love it, then I'll see if I can order the other books in this cover. But oh yeah, she's primarily mafia romance. Then I was the 2nd tier ticket, so in our swag bag we got a special edition JLA book. So the book was A Shadow in the Ember, which is gorgeous. It is red foiled on the cover. It's like a nice, really nice hardback, and it's a gray sprayed edges. I did end up getting it signed by her. And then I got most of my JLA books signed. I got my original Dark Elements series covers signed, the first book in the Wicked trilogy, the first book in the, I think it was Be With Me, I forgot what it's called, Wait For You. I got Wait For You signed. That was when she wrote under Jaylyn. But yeah, I got like a couple things signed from her. Not gonna show you all because it's her same signature, but yeah, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Then I met the queen, Sophie Lark. I love her. She primarily writes mafia, but she's starting to kind of dig into different types of books. So I came with 2 books. So I came with Brutal Prince, which is the first book in the dad's kind of mafia. And then I picked up Stolen Heir, which is book 2. So I picked these 2 up. And then my favorite book she's written is The Heir, which is the first book of the Sons. And then my second favorite is The Bully, and this is book 3 in this series. So these are the ones I ended up getting signed by her. Super nice. These weigh like 500 million pounds, but I love chatting with her. Her husband was also super nice. He was there. Yeah, and we were just chatting. She also signed some book plates for me, so I have some extra copies of her signature if I want. Then I ended up meeting Laura Thalassa. I got all of my 4 Horsemen series signed. War is my favorite, and I did end up asking her if War is inspired by Jason Momoa, and she was like, yes. So I got my question answered. She was very happy about it. She goes, oh my god, like everyone at this convention seems to like War the best. But yeah, it was very nice to meet her and get all these signed. I'll show you her signature in one of them so you guys can see. But yeah, she was really super, super nice, and her husband was there as well as her assistant. Then I ended up meeting Megan Quinn, and I got a lot of books from her. I've been trying to go through her backlist, so I've only read a couple books by her. I've read mainly her older ones. Like, I think they were published like 2018 and before. Nothing really new from her. But yeah, so I picked up my favorite books in her baseball romance series. I forgot what they're actually called. But the first one is The Locker Room. The second one is The Dugout. And the third one is The Lineup. This one is my absolute favorite. But literally the first 3 of the series are my favorite. So I ended up picking these up from her. She was super, super, super sweet. She signed in like a pink pen, but it was very nice to meet her. And then I brought my copies, my favorite books that I already owned from her. So Kiss and Don't Tell, this is a hockey romance series. Only the first 2 books are out. I've only read book 1. The Upside of Falling Down. Oh, The Upside of Falling. If you want something that will literally tear your heart apart and you're also looking for another military romance, please pick this series up. It is so good. So it's basically 2 different duets, but you're supposed to read them together. So it's technically 4 books. It's complicated. But this is the Blue Line duet, and then the other one, I think it's like the Upside, the Perfect Marriage duet, something like that. But definitely read these in order and together. Absolutely love these. And then I also got The Highland Fling by her signed. This one was fantastic. I love this one. I think this was a great rom-com, very funny. It dealt with Scotland, so it was nice to read something that I enjoy, so that was fun. And most of the books, just a disclaimer, are like people that I've read since day 1 on my channel. So I have basically all their books on Kindle, but I don't own physical copies, so I was kind of trying to pick up what I don't own. But I met Sarah Nye. She was also super nice. So I got the first book in the How to Date a Douchebag series with the boy covers. She has these in the girl covers as well. And she ended up signing them, and she was like super funny when she was signing stuff. But this one's my favorite out of the How to Date a Douchebag, so I ended up getting this one. And then I got my 2 favorite copies of her Jock Hard series. So I love that it's book 1 and 2, but they're my 2 favorites. So we have Jock Rowe and then Jock Rule. Jock Rowe, he's a baseball player, and I think Jock Rule, he's either football, rugby, or wrestling. I couldn't tell you what he actually is, but he's one of them. So I ended up picking these 2 up. But no, Sarah Nye, she was amazing. I loved meeting her. I also ended up meeting Nikki Sloan. So the only Nikki Sloan book I've read is The Rivalry, so I brought this to her. Another fantastic sports romance. It's college romance. It's just absolutely amazing. Nikki Sloan was super nice. If you want like a fantastic, it's a little bit of an enemies to lovers, like kind of lust, insta lust. It's really good, this one. It's definitely good. She's a cheerleader for Ohio State, and he's a football player for Michigan, so it's kind of their big rivalry, but fantastic. And then I picked up 3 other books by her. So I picked up the first 2 books in the Nashville Neighborhood series. The Doctor is book 1, and The Pool Boy is book 2. I figured I'd give this series a shot. I think it's 3 right now. The 3rd book is The Architect, but I picked these 2 up because these sounded the most interesting. And then she did have a Banned by Amazon book there with her, and I always get tempted when I see banned books, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what it's about, but I'm just gonna go for it. And this is Sorted. This is a 3-book series, I believe. I'm not sure if book 2 and 3 are banned, so I hope they're not, because if I really love this one, I'm gonna go pick up the other ones. But yeah, no idea. All I know is this is probably a dark romance. And then she was super funny. She actually had a band stamp, so she stamped band in here. So very excited to pick this one up. If you guys have read this one, let me know some details about it. Then I met Katherine Hebert, who I've been reading forever. I've read pretty much all her series except her MM series. So I have the original cover of Avalanche. I think the new covers have guys on the front and they're more indie sized, which is annoying because if I go and buy the other books of the series, they're not going to match, but it's fine. I'm partial to this cover just because there's a St. Bernard here, and a St. Bernard is my dream dog. but she signed this one. And then I got the first 2 books of the hashtag series, so hashtag nerd and hashtag hater. I had this whole series on my Kindle, but I ended up just getting, I had the first book and then I just got the second book there when I met her. I should have gotten book 3 because technically Romeo and Rimmel in this series are books 1 through 3. But these are sports romances, and she's obviously a nerd, where we get hashtag nerd. She's her tutor. She's his tutor, and he's like the hotshot football player on campus. But I love these books. Again, all these sports romances were like the first ever sports romances that I was introduced to, so it was nice to see those. Then I've been seeing everywhere Macaulay Smeltzer. Never heard of her. I had her Bad Boys Break Hearts book on my TBR since like 2017, 2016, when it first like came out. Just never read it. Haven't really heard her talked about. And then all of a sudden her new duet blew up. So I was like, okay. And she had a really good deal with her books. So I was like, you know what? Let me just bite the bullet. I bought the 5 books in her one Bad Boys series, and then I bought her duet. I know everyone also loves Sweet Dandelion, but I wasn't really in the mood for like that type of romance when I bought these books. So I bought the 2 that I think I would most be interested in. So I had the discreet covers, which are beautiful. I loved the boy covers, but when I went to buy the boy covers, they only had book 1, but they had all of these. So I was like, okay, I could either just buy the first one and then see if she has them at her table, which she did. But I was chancing that she wouldn't, or just buy the discreet covers. And for once, I actually do like the discreet covers. I think they're very pretty. So I ended up just biting the bullet and getting all of these. So the first one is Bad Boys Break Hearts. And then this one's signed, and then she ended up personalizing it in the next page, which was nice. So I got this one. And the next one is Nice Guys Don't Win, so I assume it's basketball. Real Players Never Lose. Good Guys Don't Lie, and Broken Boys Can't Love. Literally no idea about any of these, except I know they're college-age new adult romances. All I've heard is she does like to break your heart, so I'm prepared for them. But after I finish the book I'm currently reading, I'm probably going to jump into her books. And then I did pick up her duet, which is, the first book is The Confidence of Wildflowers, second book, The Resurrection of Wildflowers. All I know is these are age gap romances, not too big. I think it's 18 and 31, so it's not bad. And I think it's a grumpy hero, and I think she's his kids' babysitter, I think. Don't know too much about it. All I know is people have been like loving these, so I'm gonna go into the books with an open mind. I don't want to know too much about them. I feel like I like my books going into them blind. But she was super nice when I met her. She was like raving all about which books are her favorite that she wrote, so it was nice. And I also met the cover designer, Emily Whitting. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. But she was also super sweet. So a book I got for free. Another one was Find Your Way Home by Jackie Ashenden. If I pronounce it wrong, correct me. All I know is this is a small town romance. These were unsigned, but they were just kind of there for us to grab. So I picked this one up. And then I ended up meeting another author. So I was we had like free time in between each of some like book signings because we were getting through them like super fast. And then our wristband for Sophie Lark was like later in the day, so we kind of had nothing to do. So this author was kind of in the booth where we were sitting next to us, so I decided to go up to her, see what books of hers that she loved. And these two like seemed up my alley. One of them, she said it's her favorite book she wrote, so I'm definitely very interested in that. And the other one is book 1 of a 9-book series. So the one that she was obsessed with is A Moment Too Late, and I think it's Rachel Brownell. I think that's how you pronounce her first name, but she signed them. But this is a best friend's boyfriend romance, so taboo, but very excited. And then I got Dirty Little Secret, which is book 1 in her college romance. They are super small books, so I'll probably fly through this one. And this is a brother's best friend, so again, kind of very similar vibes with books. She also had another book at her table that I regret not getting, so my mom and I ended up ordering it today from Amazon. It's called Corrupt Senator. It's her only dark romance she's written. And yeah, but when I do a next book haul, which I'm kind of on a book buying man, but that's my only book that I bought since the signing, that will be included. Then we got another freebie, which was a novella, and that is Summer's Love by J. Lum. No idea what it's about. Probably about summer love. But it's a really quick, short novella. And then I was really excited for this one. We got Wicked Beauty by Katherine Hebert. So we ended up getting the ARC version. So I think they just had a lot of leftover paper ARCs, and they were giving in goodie bags at one of the days I went. But this is book 3, and this is a modern retelling of Helen of Troy, Achilles, and someone else. This was already released, I believe, June 7th. But I am super excited to pick this one up. My sister owns book 1, and then we just ordered book 2. So now we have the arc of book 3. I have not read a Katherine Hebert book. I have the first book in her Twisted Villains or something Villains, the Jasmine Jafar one, on my Kindle, so I can get to it eventually. But yeah. Then I ended up meeting Lucia Franco. If you don't know who that is, she primarily writes very, very taboo age gap romances. So I picked up a book that I don't have by her, and that's Your Mind Tonight. This is about a Hollywood socialite. It's a super small book, probably gonna be a very, very quick read. But I love her books, so I'm sure I'm gonna love this one. I got my copy of Hush Hush signed, and this is about a escort, and it's an age gap, and it's so good. It's so good. She was telling me how, like, literally all she loves to do is write age gap romances, and I said, yeah, keep them coming. And then I got my first editions of Balance and Execution signed. She sometimes sells these first editions on her website, but she republished these books with, like, black covers. So I got my first edition signed because I had to. They're my babies. Oh, I didn't even show you her signature. But she was super nice. I ended up ordering the last book, Dismount, in this series. This is 5-book series. I only own up to book 4. So that should be arriving probably within the week or the next week. But these are so good. She's 16 and he's like 50 or 40 or something. So it's a big age gap. He's also married. It's a big age gap. And it's a gymnastics sports romance, but so good. But yeah, so that's pretty much all the books I got. If I forgot one or two, it is what it is. But yeah, let me know down below if you guys are excited for anything else. Oh, and then I got a little cup with a whole bunch of pens and stuff like that. I'm not going to show you this pen. But a lot of bookmarks and a whole bunch of pens. And I got a couple other book plates by author signed. But yeah, thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.